What's good, fight fans? Your Majesty speaking. So, I'm reading Boxing News 24, and I come across an article about Calzaghe, pretty much saying that Canelo's bid to being a Mount Rushmore is over because he lost his biggest fights. I did want to read a little bit of this, but it says, JOECALZAGHE says he doesn't believe Canelo Alvarez belongs among the all-time greats in boxing. He points out that the defeats that Canelo had when stepping up against good fighters, along with his controversial wins over Gennady Golovkin, make him an unworthy of being a all-time great in his book. He does state that he doesn't have a spine, meaning Canelo, because he showed that by not choosing to fight David Benavidez, and that's enough to exclude him from his all-time list. Choosing not to fight the Mexican Monster or Christian and Billy or David Morrell showed the fans that inside Canelo is pure jelly and not worthy of sitting among the all-time greats on the Mount Rushmore of boxing. Goes on to say that Gennady's Canelo's wins over Gennady, his win over Lar, his win over Skull, and his win over Austin Trout were all controversial, and that those are probably his best wins, and they were controversial wins. Can't disagree with that. If we're talking about the Mount Rushmore of boxing status, Canelo doesn't rate in Calzaghe's mind to be included. However, if he wants to broaden the brush to include others, Terrence Crawford doesn't rate being an all-time great either because his resume is too weak. His Mount Rushmore of boxing is Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Henry Armstrong, and Joe Louis. And guess what? That's hard to argue with. Where do I start? Me being a Canelo fan and have been a Canelo fan for a long time, I've never looked at Canelo as a type of fighter that would be considered top 4 all time, no matter race. So honestly, I don't even understand the point of him bringing this up. Now, maybe if he was talking about being a top 4 Mexican fighter, and because I think we've all rated Canelo as one of the top Mexican fighters, if not the top, between him and Julio Cesar Chavez. And so unless that's what he's talking about, I honestly can't see a case even before Canelo lost to Bivol and Crawford where people was looking at Canelo as an all-time Mount Rushmore fighter. Now, do I necessarily agree with JOECALZAGHE trying to discredit Canelo of the wins that he does have? Yes. Because when you're fighting the top level guys and you fighting the best competition, you're going to have close fights. You're going to have fights that people thought this person won, or however the fight may have went. If we use Triple G versus Canelo 1, for example, I thought Canelo fought pretty well that first fight. I liked when Canelo was a more craftier boxer, off the back foot, being elusive, making people pay. To me, that was a more appealing style when Canelo used to fight that way, opposed to how he fights now. I understand why he fights the way he fights now, and I've always believed that Canelo changed his style of fighting to conserve stamina, to conserve his energy, because when Canelo was a back-footed fighter, or a fighter who spent a lot of time on his back foot, he would gas out a lot faster. And I think he found something in that second Triple G fight where he could stand in the middle of the ring or come forward and be able to evade punches, but also be able to control his the amount of stamina and amount of energy he was using. And so, but to go back to what I was saying about the Calzaghe thing, I can't discredit his wins because people felt like he lost certain fights or whatever the case may be. We felt like, a lot of people felt like Floyd Mayweather lost the first fight to what's my man name? A lot of people felt like Floyd Mayweather lost the first fight to damn, what's my man that was fighting Diego Corrales? Y'all know it. Put it in the comments. Shit, I hate when I can't think of names. But anyway, a lot of people thought that Floyd lost that first fight, and we don't discredit Floyd for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's fair to discredit it. And once again, this is why I advocate for people like Lubin, people like Canelo, and it's also to go to why Canelo probably never fought David Benavidez, because I remember the Canelo that was willing to fight anybody. It didn't matter who it was, whether it was Austin Trout, he was fresh off a victory against Cotto, whether it was Cotto, whether it was Triple G, he fought all of those guys. And it was the same thing they're doing with Crawford now. Is you can't beat Canelo, then you beat, I mean, you can't beat Earl, then you beat Earl, then you can't beat Canelo, you beat him, now it's David Benavidez. I think Canelo realized that he was never going to get the credit that he deserved from taking the fights that people wanted to see, or if he took them and won a close fight, he still wasn't going to get the credit for it. And so I think he just got tired of trying to please people who he realized he couldn't please, and that's why he moved the way he moved towards the end of his career. But I can't discredit him for fights that he actually took and won. A lot of people won close fights. That would be equivalent to me discrediting Joe Calzaghe for his Roy Jones win because he fought Roy Jones old as dirt. You know what I'm saying? Or I just don't like it. And so while I do agree with his position as far as Canelo not being an all-time Mount Rushmore fighter, absolutely. I never thought he was all-time great Mount Rushmore of regardless of race, regardless of anything before those losses. So I don't think it's really even saying much to say that he's not a Mount Rushmore fighter, but to discredit him and say that he's not an all-time great is absolutely disrespectful. And it's absolutely disrespectful to Terence Crawford to say that he's not an all-time great, when in reality, you cannot help the level of competition that exists when it's your time period. And the only thing you can do is fight the guys that are in your era and in front of you. And for Terence Crawford to come from 135 pounds all the way up to 168 pounds and never even have a fight that people even considered close, or never even had a anything other than a unanimous decision or a knockout, you have to give credit to that. You have to. And so while I understand this is a Canelo video, it led me to Terence Crawford based on what Joe Calzaghe said. And I just think it's disrespectful. And I think it would be disrespectful if we were to discredit his resume based on the fact that he never left overseas and never came over here and fought Roy Jones when Roy Jones was young, or never fought any of those guys when they were young. Yes, he dominated that scene over there, but and to be honest, anybody's resume could be critiqued. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like it because to me, Canelo is going to be higher on an all-time great list than Joe Calzaghe, and he finished undefeated. And so I just don't like the disrespect. And this ain't me caping for Canelo, because like I said, I'm not bowing down to none of them, but I will tell the truth. Like, us as fans, we never appreciate when fighters fight the fights that we want them to fight. But then when they choose to not fight those fights, we have all of these reasons why we want to, like, you have to respect the Lubins of the world. You have to respect the Sean Porters of the world. You got to respect the Joseph Parkers of the world, because those are the guys that's actually doing what we asking them. Look at what we're going through with Virgil and Boots, and both of these guys are in their prime, and it's a bunch of bull crap going on. So I believe that the reason why Canelo stopped taking these fights, you could say he was scared, whatever the case may be, but which I don't think he was scared. Canelo don't come off to me as a scary guy. I just think he got to a point of feeling like there is no pleasing these people. And so if I can't please them, then why keep trying? I might as well please myself. So let me know in the comments if you agree with what Joe Calzaghe said. If you want to read the article, it is boxingnews24.com. I want to say it's the first or the second one on there if you're looking at this video fresh. But go read it for yourself. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think he was disrespectful to Canelo. Let me know if you think he was on point. And like I said, I don't have no issues if people agree with him. This is just my thoughts and my point of view. But if you have not followed me, please do so. Please hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop future videos. Also hit the like button and share the video. And if you have not followed my social medias, please do so. They are in front of you. And until next time.